channel, or welcome if you're new. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be sharing like some life-changing perspectives that helped me on my healing journey. I'm still healing, and I feel like everyone is because there's no like end point to it. But yeah, I'm just going to be sharing life-changing perspectives that helped me on my healing journey. A lot of the stuff that I say might sound cliche, but I feel like it doesn't really resonate with you unless you experience it, and then you're like, oh, okay. The first thing that I want to share that helped me was understanding the concept of grace. So I've always heard this term or the phrase, give yourself grace, but it didn't really resonate with me. Like, I didn't understand even how to process that phrase, or I didn't understand how to apply it to my life. But I guess after just pondering through like some of my experiences and just thinking about the nature of life and the things that we have to experience, I finally arrived at understanding what it means to give myself grace. To me, this basically just means to stop trying to obtain this false idea of perfectionism and who I need to be and how I need to carry myself or what I need to obtain in life, because the false idea that I created, or the false narrative that I created, didn't take into account like the trauma that I experienced or the disadvantages that society places on me, or identity barriers. It didn't take into account those things. So it's kind of like just creating the space for you to make mistakes, for you to feel and experience your emotions without judgment or criticism, allowing yourself to just, I guess, flow with how life is going. But yeah, give yourself grace, understanding that you're doing the best that you can with the cards that you've been dealt with. That's what it means to give yourself grace. Just acknowledging that where you are in this moment is okay, and the emotions and the experiences that you're feeling are okay as well. So the next thing is, healing is not linear, and that there's no end point that you're trying to reach. In my mind, I used to just have this idea that healing was this maybe short-term or long-term process that I would go through, and then I would be done, and then I'll just experience like absolute bliss and happiness, and life would be perfect. But that's a false idea of healing. There's no end point to it, because there's always going to be experiences that we need to heal from or grow from. Pain is always going to be there. As long as pain exists in this world, then healing, there's no end to healing unless you choose to not heal from it. Healing is not linear, so you might be okay this day and feel like you're making progress, or maybe your stress levels are lower, or you just have a greater appreciation to life. You can feel that one day and then dysregulated the next day, or you just, I don't know. It's just not linear. There's always going to be ups and downs that you might experience. But this next thing is, I know that this is very cliche, but it's the concept of gratitude. And I talked about this in my last video. This is really life-changing, and whenever you go through a painful experience or a traumatic event, these things will try to consume your joy, your peace, and your appreciation of life. And so if you don't fight to maintain this stuff, or not this stuff, if you don't fight to maintain your sense of peace, your sense of joy, and your appreciation to life, you will be miserable. I feel like that's also how people just get into horrible coping mechanisms, or they're just really bitter and resentful in life, or they're just angry all around, is because they haven't arrived to the understanding that you have to fight to maintain your peace, your joy, and your appreciation to life. And one way to do this is practicing gratitude. Like, for example, when something bad happens in one day, you don't want to have the mindset that, oh, my day is ruined or my day is bad, but instead, this is just a small moment that might have thrown me off balance, or that might have made me upset. But my overall day is not bad. It's just this small moment. And that's what gratitude helps you do. It helps you realize that my life is not bad. Just maybe I had a bad day this week, or my day isn't bad, I just had a bad moment. I hope I'm making sense, but I just feel like it's really transformative to someone who's experienced trauma or pain or setbacks or depression and things like that. Also, I feel like if you don't practice gratitude, you're going to look externally for things to feel like, to give you a sense of joy. And they won't give you joy, but they might give you a temporary feeling of happiness or a temporary feeling of peace. But you have the authority to cultivate that within, you know, those things within. It's only been 4 minutes. I don't want this to be super duper long, because if it gets really long, I might not edit it and it might end up like those last 2 videos that I made. Actually, the last tip that I would give, or the last life-changing perspective, is understanding like your mind, body, and spirit are all interconnected. And so it's really beneficial when you're trying to heal to just build and cultivate a self-awareness around these areas of your life. Like, for example, when I feel this emotion, what does my body feel? And how does that transfer into like the spirit, you know? Because they're all interconnected. You know, if you feel like tension on your shoulders, I don't know if this applies to everyone, but if you feel tension in your neck and your shoulders, it could be stress related, but emotionally, you could feel like you are carrying a bunch of responsibilities. So you might feel something physically, but not know the emotional aspect of it or the spiritual aspect of it. So just building an awareness around these areas have really helped me. But yeah, so that is it for this video. I really hope it was helpful. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and then stay tuned for my other videos.